In this video, we'll discuss about what do you mean by the infinitive. So let us dive into this topic. The infinitives are also one of the topic in case of English grammar, where this also decides that what is the enhancement of the sentences. Okay, so that's a simple way to explain. Here, coming to the definition of this infinitive. So as per the definition point of view, so the infinitive is a word which is preceded by the another word that is called as a to, and when you add that in front of the any verb, then that respective verb becomes so to plus that respective verb becomes will in a different fashion, or it will give you a different enhancement. That's a simple definition. Okay, so let us dive into the definition and then look at in detail here. For example, here you can see that is an infinitive is a base form of a verb which is usually preceded by the letter to. Okay, so when it is preceded by the letter to, this we can say like this here. So when it is preceded by that, so what happens is, now because of this letter, this word to is before that. So because of this word to is before, it will act like a noun, it will act like an adjective, and also it will act like an adverb. So three things it can function. So the same verb here. So verb is here what? Which verb here? Base verb. The base verb, what happens here? Because the base verb is with the another word to, because it is in before that. Okay, so it can be function as a noun, it can function as an adjective, it can function as an adverb. This is a simple way to understand, simple way to keep in mind. Okay, so remember in the previous cases and all here, the same thing we have seen, that is a gerund and participle gerund plus participle here. So gerund is not something like we would take the base form of the verb and then add ing at the end. Very simple structure. That is one. Okay, so this is also same thing here. This gerund, and go through the previous videos where we have discussed the gerund and participle in one video. So please go through that again. So here the gerund will act like a noun, whereas the participle acts like an adjective. The participle acts like an adjective. So now what is this one here? That is infinitive. In this case, infinitive. This infinitive acts like noun, adjective, and adverb. Okay, so this is the basic understanding of what you mean by this infinitive here. Now coming to the types of infinitives, so there are more infinitives available, but actually as per the examination point of view, generally you have to look each and every point here. So that's the reason why I'm explaining. Normally what happens is there is a first category is called as a full infinitive. Second category is called as a bare infinitive. So these are normally everybody will agree that. Okay, but some traditional grammarians don't agree with this point. That is called as a split infinitive, but that is also there. So sometimes it has come into examination. Okay, so that's the reason why we can't leave that point behind. So that's the reason why I have put that also here. And apart from that, what you need to do is you need to understand what are the functions and and all those things here. So let us dive into one by one here. That is, the first category is called as a types of infinitives here. So what I mean by types of infinitives is here, first one, a full infinitive. What I mean by that is a full infinitive. So a fully infinitive means basically you are going to use the word to in front of a verb. That's a point. Okay. I want to study. I want to run. I want to play. Like this. To plus verb. You can replace the same thing here, the same structure. Okay. I want to play. I want to read. I want to learn. I want to love. I want to run. Likewise, you can use some structure. Okay, so the meaning will not change here. So the grammar structure, everything, that rules will not change here. Okay, so whenever you are using to in front of it, any verb here, so the verb is changing here, but things are not going to change here. So things are all same in this case. So the word to is going to be same throughout here. To run, to play, so all this is okay. So what happened here now? This I want. I is the subject. Then want is a verb. Okay, so subject is there, verb is there here. So actually what should happen is basically this is a study, run, play, or this, all these words are verb here. But since we have added to in between, to in the before that, so naturally what it should do is it should be an object. It should be an object. So it has the other grammatical rule to fill this sequences. There should be an object, right? So the what is the object? So the object is basically mostly it will be noun. Mostly it will be noun. Sometimes it will be adverb. So because adverb comes at the last. But anyway, so at this juncture, since we know this rule here, since we have not gone through the adverbs right now, so try to understand that here you have to fill something here. So that filling something is a noun. So only the noun can be the object. That's a simple way of understanding. Okay. Keeping this point in mind, that is the types of infinitives. The next one, if we look at, called as a bare infinitive. What do we mean by bare infinitive? A bare infinitive is something like without the use of to also we can form the infinitive. So how can we do that? It can be used after some certain words, not every time. It can be used after some certain words and structures. So in such cases we cannot use bare infinitives every time and however we want it. Example, I heard her sing. I heard her sing a song. Here, if you look at this one, I is a subject, heard is the verb, her is the object. So this is over. The sentence is over here. Okay, sing a song. Okay, so sing a song here. So sing is another verb here. So this verb is preceded with the article. Then it is preceded with the noun. Preceded with the noun. Okay, it is after article, then it is with the noun here. Okay, so what is happening here in this sentence here is I heard her sing is the complete form of a sentence. So here, up to here, your job is over. Okay, but what you want to do is you want to continue the sentence. Okay, so you want to make it something like you want to not to finish this sentence here, and this much sentence is not enough, but you want to add extra information to the sentence here. So for that reason, what you are doing is you have started the sentence with the verb itself, straight away the verb. So because it's straight away with the verb, then obviously what you should do is you have to explain with the link this verb with a noun. That's a, if you link that one, then combination of these two will be the right one. That's a point here. Okay, so this is very rare cases. Okay, in some cases where infinitive can be used. Okay, then it is called as a split infinitive. So split infinitive occurs, as you can see here, whenever an adverb is placed between two and the verb. So what is the basic rule for an infinitive? The basic rule for an infinitive is 2 plus base verb. Okay, so in between 2 and base verb, if you add something, another adverb, okay, so then this becomes a split infinitive. So you are actually trying to split this infinitive. Okay, so basically that 2 plus base verb is basically the infinitive, so that you are splitting it. So that's the reason why this again. But anyway, we call this sentence also a infinitive. Okay, but actually what you are doing is you are actually adding adverb before the verb. Okay, that's normally the case here. Okay, this is normally a different case normally, but just try to understand here. Okay, she wants to completely understand. Instead of this sentence, if you write like this, remove the sentence and write, she wants to understand the music completely. Okay, so this way if you can fill it completely, but instead of that you are inserting this completely word, which is an adverb, so that you have used here. Okay, so this is basically for the grammatical structure and for the grammatical rules we use this, but nevertheless this is the case here. Okay, then if you don't use this one, even much better. Okay, so you can use that she wants to understand the music, she wants to completely understand the topic, something like that. Okay, then what are the functions of infinitive? So as we've seen that what do this infinitive do? The infinitive will act like a noun, adverb and also verb. The first case here is when it is functioning as a noun, so that we will look at. So when it functions as a noun, then what would be the case? So when it functions as a noun, the subject of a sentence, it should be like a subject of a sentence or act like a object of a sentence. So these are possibilities here. So when it act like a subject of a sentence, first point, then when it acts like a object of a verb, then sometimes it acts like a object of a preposition. So this is basically rare. So this is the same case we have seen in preposition, participles and gerunds. Okay, so please go through that point. Okay, that video also please go through it. Here the first case, some example. To err is human. What do you mean by err? The sentence, this one, basically err meaning is to do mistake. To do some mistake. Okay, to do a mistake, not a mistake, to do some mistake. Okay, the sentence is not complete. To err is human. To err is human, but to forgive is divine. Is divine. So this sentence is normally used to say that, so please forgive somebody. So that's the reason why generally this sentence, okay, don't try, you also don't try to do the same mistake by getting angry. So something like that you want to say. So here, to err is human, but to forgive is divine. Here, this to plus err is making a mistake. It's a verb. Err is basically the verb here. Okay, to plus verb. So now this became like a subject. So subject is basically, because it's going to start with the sentence, so obviously it must be a noun first one. Then the object of a verb. So I like to read. I like is basically, I is a subject, like is a verb. So to read becomes an object. To read. So I like something. So like, okay. So object of a preposition. So this is, as I said, it is a very rare case. So I had no choice but to wait. I had no choice but to wait. So it became after. So after the but is a preposition here. After that, it has come into picture. Okay. So that's one point here. Then next one is when it acts like a adjective. When it acts as an adjective and also as an adverb. So two cases. So when it acts as an adjective, okay, it what does it do? What do you mean by adjective? Adjective is a word which describes a noun, which qualifies a noun, right? So which gives the details of a noun. So that's normally the definition. It describes a noun by showing the purpose. The same thing. It describes the noun by showing the purpose. Example, she has a book to read. So she has a book. If you look at carefully here, the sentence is complete here. She is a subject, has is a verb, a book is the object. Okay, subject, verb plus object is finished here. So she has a book is, this makes a complete sentence here. She has a book is over. The sentence is over. Okay, but what we are doing is you are using the sentence that is a extra two words here. To read. To read is a infinitive. So you are adding it to this so that now what is the purpose of a book? So the purpose of this object you are trying to explain later. So this becomes an infinitive. So this infinitive is basically what is it doing? It is making the object, it is qualifying this object. Okay, so that's the case. And as an adverb, if you look at it, so it describes a reason, purpose, manner. Reason, purpose, and manner. For example, he works hard to succeed. He works hard to succeed. He works hard. Subject, verb, and object here. Okay. To succeed is now is an infinitive. So what is this infinitive is doing here? So it is describing, modifying the verb. Okay, why he is working that much? For success. Okay, so he is not working for hard work. So you cannot, this is not true here like this before. This is not the case here. Why this is not the case is here, this is not going to work out. Only this will work out. Why this will work out is, nobody will try to work for just for working. Okay, they have some aim. What is that aim? Something. Okay, so that, what is that something? That you need to identify properly. Okay, so whenever this adjective and adverb is coming, so you be careful here. So where this whether this infinitive is trying to describe the adjective or whether the infinitive is trying to describe the adverb, that you should be mindful about. So just have a look at here. Okay, so here for example, here has is there, right? So this she has to read. She has to read becomes, so if you try to qualify this one here like this, what would happen here? She has to read. So the complete sentence meaning will change. So here it is not like that. So that's the reason why. So if in this case he works hard, same thing, he works hard to succeed. Now you know the sentence meaning is not changed, you know the purpose, you have identified why he is doing that option, okay, why he is doing that action, why he is doing, why this verb is coming into picture. So that's the difference you should be able to identify, okay. So based on that you decide whether this infinitive acts like an adjective or adverb. That's one point here. Then there are some, for examination purpose, there are some verbs here where commonly followed with the full infinitives. Okay, so what are those? I agreed to help. So after this verb, then compulsory this word to plus verb should come. Okay, so for agreed, for decide, for hope, for plan, for want, for refused, like this. I agreed to help. I decided to go. I decided to quit. I decided to win. I hope to win. I hope to play. I hope to reach, like this. Okay, they plan to travel. They plan to come. They plan to go. They plan to quit. All the, like this you can try some sentence. Okay, just try on your word. Want, I want to learn. I want to play. I want to succeed, like this. Okay, so after this certain set of words, what are those words? Agreed, decide, hope, plan, want, refuse. After these words, compulsorily this infinitive must follow. Please keep this point in mind. Then verbs followed with the by bare infinitives are sometimes in the form like this: modals, causative verbs, then perception verbs, okay. So where by using, whenever you are using this bare infinitives, there we generally follow, we have to compulsory use modal verbs, causative verbs, perception verbs, etc. Example: she can dance well. She dances well. That's normal the sentence. Okay, she dances well. A simple present. Okay, but you want to make it this sentence, this verb to a infinite. Okay, so when you want to make this verb to infinite here, so what do you want to do? She can dance well. Why you are doing this one here? You want to make the sentence, so she dances well is already happened. Okay, she dances well. Now she can dance well means you want to give the possibility of the sentence that she can do it. Okay, so you are actually promoting this, the person, right? So in such cases generally we have to follow the modal verbs. So these modal verbs, auxiliaries and modal verbs are also given. So we are actually doing this all the videos in one go. So here for that reason what I want to urge you to do is go through the auxiliaries and modal verbs so that you'll be able to understand the concept here what I'm talking about. Here the next one is causative verbs. So causative verbs are make, let, have. What do you mean by make, let, have here? She made me cry. She made me cry. Okay, so this is cause. Okay, so made me cry. Okay, she cries. She made me cry. Like this. So perception verbs generally what happens is like see, hear, feel, watch, like this. So I saw her leave. I saw her leave. Okay, so this comes under this where they don't carry infinitive. Okay, because they don't carry infinitive, she had to cry. Basically, if this is not this sentence, okay, she, yeah, we can't frame this sentence here. That's the right way of saying. This is the right way of saying this sentence. Okay, so I cried because of her is the right sentence there for that. Okay, I cried because of her. So now what is this one? She made me cry. Okay, so here to cry is the normal infinitive, but this to is not used here. So that's the reason why it becomes a bare infinitive. Now perception verbs. Okay, so in a perception verbs, see, hear, feel, watch, notice, all these things. So here I saw her. Actually, to leave should come here, but that is not used here. So then likewise, infinitive versus gerund. So here, this is very important here. When you are doing a comparison, infinitive, gerund, all those things, be mindful about how you are doing it. Okay. So if it is a infinitive, so the structure is basically to plus verb, whereas gerund, it is verb plus ing. And the next point is the infinitive can act like a noun, an adjective, and adverb, whereas this gerund acts like only noun. There is no other option. Okay, only noun. Then example here, I want to play, I enjoy playing. So I want to play. In this case, subject, verb plus object, subject, verb, object, whereas here subject, verb plus ing is used. So this way, this became an object. Because of that, this became an object. That's the case here. Okay, this is a simple meaning of that. Okay, then you can have some you can try some examples. Okay, so first thing what you should do is you should know the difference between infinitive and gerund. So there are, because you can use several verbs and then they take the same form here. So for example here, I remember, this is very best example to keep in mind. Okay, I remember to lock the door. Okay, so when you are using infinitive to lock the door, what is the meaning here? Meaning is you wanted to do, means you have not yet done, means not yet done. This work is not yet done. Okay, if you use this verb plus ing, I remember locking the door. Okay, means, what do you mean by that? You are recalling, means you have already done that, but you have recalling the memory. Done and just memorizing. Okay, yeah, I done that. Okay, like that. Okay, so you have done the job, but you are just trying to remember again. Okay, just remembering again. Okay, just memorize. You can't say memorizing, remembering, just remembering again. Yeah, remembering doing it. So just remember again. Simple way, just remember again. Okay, this is the basic difference between infinitive and gerund. Then coming to the infinitive phrases, here what do you mean by infinitive phrases? Infinitive phrases are something here, are something, they come with an object or modifiers, or with modifiers. So modifiers are adverbs. Okay, so look at here, to win the match is her dream. Okay, to win the match is her dream. Okay, The match is her dream. The match is her dream will convey something that is itself is a complete sentence. The match is her dream. Okay, so there itself you are actually giving what is the intensity of the sentence there, but you are actually using this to win. You are using it. So what happens is here this acts like a modifier here. So that's this modifier is coming here, this picture. Okay, modifier is coming with the object. Okay, and he is eager to complete the project. So what is this eager to complete? So he is eager the project. Okay, so you are using eager. Okay, means he has to complete, he is there to complete. Okay, but you are adding some extra what you can call masala or something like that, so that actually you are intensifying the sentence here. Okay, this is one infinitive phrases. Okay, for infinitive phrases generally we use this. Okay, then in case of a negative infinitives, if you look at the negative infinitives, the negative infinitives are same thing, but the rule is here use not to. Not plus to plus infinitive formula is to plus verb, base verb. So in front of the to you have to use not. He decided not to go. Not to go. Okay, this is the infinitive and this is the not. So the combination this becomes, okay, try not to make. Try not to make. So this is the infinitive and this is the negative infinitive. Because of this not, this becomes a negative infinitive. Negative infinitive. So likewise, perfect infinitive is to have plus past participle. So this is basically the thing here. So to in front of the, what is the base verb, base formula for a infinitive? To plus base verb. Okay. So here what you are doing is to plus have plus base verb. You are using in this fashion, right? So to plus have plus base verb. So when you use this one, so what is the purpose of doing this one? It is a, let me highlight here. So what is the purpose? So the purpose is here, use it to show that action was completed before the time of the main verb. So let me highlight here of the main verb. Okay, means it is used to say that it already has completed. Okay, I used to have coffee. I used to have, sorry, I used to have we need to use a verb here. I used to have, we can't use. I regularly used to have my I regularly used to have walk. Okay, so basically this used to have, this is basically I used to have like this. Okay, so I have my walking. This would give us something. Okay, so this actually completed. Okay, this is already completed sentence. I regularly used to have my walking. I regularly used to have walking, but right now I'm not doing it. I am not walking now. Okay, so don't worry about exact grammar, exact pinpoint grammar points and all here. Just try to practice as much as possible so that you will come to that point. Okay, then perfect infinitive. So the perfect infinitives to have plus past participle. This is also same thing. To have plus past participle. Okay, yeah. So here this same thing here. Yeah, that's the same extension to that example. So that extension to that example here. Yeah. So in this perfect infinitives. So look at some examples here. Okay. So what are the examples here? That is to have gone, to have seen, to have walked, like that. Okay. So walk, to have walked. Here I would like to say this here. That is a example. That is a it used to show that the action was completed before the time of the main verb. That is, for example, look at the structure. Okay, I used to have gone, I used to have seen, right? So this is a past participle, right? Past participle means what? For example, past participle is verb 1, verb 2, verb 3. Okay, so go, went, gone. Go, went, gone, like this. Okay, so see, saw, seen, right? Likewise. So here she is happy to have gone. Okay, she is happy to have gone. I seem to have seen her. Okay, means what we mean by that is they have already went. You have already seen that person. I seem to have seen. Okay. Then continuous infinitive. So in case of a continuous infinitive, to be plus present participle plus ing. To be plus present participle plus ing. Okay, he seems to be working. He seems to be working. To be plus verb plus ing. So what does this become? To plus be plus verb plus ing. So this is the form. Okay, so or else you can write like this: to be plus be for form. This is also right one. Right? She pretends to be sleeping. Likewise. Then in a passive infinitive, to be plus past participle. She wants to be respected. The house needs to be cleaned. The package needs to be delivered. Like this. Okay, so what is the form here? So to plus be plus verb v3 past participle. Okay, so what is v3? V3 is v1, v2, v3. Okay, so like go, went, gone, like this. Go, went, gone. Okay, she wants to be gone. The house needs to be gone. Like this also you can say. Okay, so means you want to remove that house itself there. Okay, she wants to go away from the place. Okay, likewise. Then likewise, if you look at this sentence here, what are the main common errors generally some people do while you're writing this examination? Some common error points generally you should be mindful about. That is what is a correct sentence and incorrect sentence here. So these are just some small things here, so that actually you'll be able to take a glimpse out of it, like take the gist here, and then based on this actually you will have some encouragement to read in that fashion. Okay, that's the reason why I'm not pointing out all the errors, okay, just only 4 or 5. Just you for that you will have at least some motive to read further, okay. For that reason I have put this incorrect, correct, and the rule, okay. So what is the incorrect sentence? I made him to go. No, I made him go. Why? Because anything that is you made, right, it's a causative verb. Made is a causative verb, okay. So for a causative verb, use a bare infinitive. So that is the reason why I want you to go through this properly, this slide here. Bare infinitive. This the slide. This slide. I want you to go through this properly, okay. So when you use a bare infinitive, there won't be any word to, okay. So by this to won't be, so that's the reason why you have to be careful while doing that. And so whenever you are using bare infinitive, there is a slide here which I put for you to follow. This one, yeah, bare infinitive. If you look at this slide, okay, so a modal verbs, whenever you're using modal verbs like can, could, may, might, must, shall, should, will, would, like that. So, and also causative verbs like this, make, let, have. Then preception verbs like see, hear, feel, watch, notice, like this are modals, causatives, and preceptions. So this becomes a bare infinitive. So for a bare infinitive, do not carry with the letter, the word to. That you should be mindful about. Okay. So for that reason, in this case, you made something, right? So made him, call it that, okay. So made him to go. So because of that, so you have done something that becomes a causative, okay. So you can't use to there, okay. So go like this and all, okay. He suggested, she suggested to go, she suggested going. So that is also one important point here. So the to go is not, okay. Why this doesn't come is, so some verbs here takes gerund, not infinitive. Go generally takes going, not plus to plus go, okay. So mostly we don't use to go. I want to go, I am going, okay. So here to go becomes a infinitive, going becomes gerund, subject, verb, object should come, okay. So to go is still is not a object, so it cannot form a noun here, okay. So she suggested going generally makes a proper meaning here, okay. Enjoy to dance, I enjoy to dance, okay. So I enjoy dancing. So enjoy also takes a gerund here. Then the this is the, okay, infinitive versus finite, okay. So when you look at the infinitive versus finite things, these are examples here itself. It's the infinitive cannot act like a main verb. Keep that point in mind, okay. All the time it cannot act like a main verb. So but the finite verb can act like a main verb. And if for an infinitive, there won't be any subject agreement, okay. No subject agreement will be there, but for a finite verb, it should agree with the subject, okay. So then like this, in infinitive, it does not show any tense here, so it shows a tense. For example, when you are using this infinitive, to err is human. It can be anything. It can be past, present, and okay. So it does not show any tense, okay. So this sentence is therefore eternal, okay, like this. But if for a finite verb, so it is not, okay. So making a mistake is human, like that you should write like properly, okay. That's one point here. Keep this point in mind. Then special cases, or we can call this as special constructions for formation of an infinitives. Yeah, we would like to highlight here to and to, enough to, it plus be plus adjective, and only to. These are the varieties. Okay, to w. Okay, t, after t you are going to have two O's, and another one is t plus o. Okay, he is too weak to run. He is too weak to run. She is smart enough to win. To win. It plus be plus adjective plus to. Okay, it is difficult to solve this. It is difficult, adjective. Okay, adjective, difficult to solve this. Okay, I have to solve this. It is very difficult to solve this. Okay, only to. Okay, I have arrived only to find the shop. Only to find the shop closed. Likewise. Okay, so this is one special case here, and likewise, what are the important things here that when you are reading this infinitives? Okay, so when you are reading these infinitives, so you just follow these simple rules and regulations. The first rule is infinitive types, like whether they are full, bare, or perfect, or continuous, or passive. First you identify that one. Then you identify what is a verb plus infinite versus verb plus gerund. So that you identify. So first point is you should do this one. Second point is you have to identify verbs plus infinitive or verbs plus gerund. So that you identify. Then you identify that whether the infinitive is acting like a noun or adverb or adjective. That you identify first. That is a third one. Then if there is sometimes there will be something like a infinitive phrases. Okay, that also there you should be able to identify. That is a common idiomatic phrases like to, like this and all. Okay, that is also you should. Okay, then you identify that what are the causative and perception verbs, and those verbs you have to memorize, and then because they act like a bare infinitives. Okay, so to will not come infinitive. Okay, so the to word will not carry here, just only the verb is act like an infinitive. Okay, so like that. Then try some errors, like spotting errors, all these things. Then you can easily catch this topic called as infinitives. So this infinitive topic is something like this. Okay, so it is something like similar to gerund and participle, but the grammatical structure is entirely different. So if you look at this gerund and participle, so and the infinitive here, so infinitive acts like a noun, adjective, and adverb, whereas the gerund acts like a noun and participle acts like a adjective. So this is one important a difference between infinitive, gerund, and participle. So please go through this topic. So like 2 or 3 times, infinitive, participle, and gerund. So practice as much as possible so that you will know the difference. Then also you look at the previous year question papers, and also look at the common errors that most of the students do. So you just go through all these things and you will master the concept called as the topic infinitive. So this is the concept regarding the topic called as infinitive. I hope you understood this topic infinitive. We will meet again. Until then, please do subscribe to my YouTube channel, press the bell icon, like it and share it. Bye.